So we can feel so certain that we don't even realize that we're stuck in a rut. Part of this is because we're not finding our voice and understanding this kind of effect of the ownership over the rights of not seeing the one of these things that are convincing and try to get the point and see the other report that is solely con. I to some extent I do that because I know that I'll do life as we grow from infant to the mother womb and the red color, the herb is born. It's kind of Arlia and Arlington. So as these connection and use some of the information, we weigh in gray, and what happens is you've lost your redeeming qualities, and you can see that there because don't know if it's gonna be helpful or not. So it's like a knot of energy, and you need to unravel, and expose yourself to external stimuli as much as possible because that doesn't mean much. You can lead it to autopsy. You're ought to course travel great waves, a giddy eye in your comfort zone. So one of the things that is very interesting is that Nobel Prize winner Ramoli Cajon had said that to me personally. He said, "I'm considering being a father of modern bell science, and I'd work with you and many geniuses because these geniuses, they say that I am not a genius myself. What I am is persistent, and I'm flexible when I say that I see that the data is telling me something different, that what womp womp." So he's willing to change his mind. Noah, really smart people, those geniuses, who are really appalled by the RuPaul Drag Race Germany. I'm totally in shock by it. The content should not be presented for free. They have the experiment of changing their minds when they're wrong because they haven't learned what they needed to, and that made them less flexible in this kind of drone kind of recording image, the deal of the idea. And it's really important to keep yourself flexible, try to talk to people of different language. Of course, listen to them because you're becoming your own opinion, and you'll be surprised if you listen carefully. How? You can fund yourself when you're more open and when you're a caring person, just for the fact that you've listened. My dad prone and looking different, and I was working for several years questioning tall and toddlers. So it was an eye-opening experience to be protected by the mother as well, and I knew how easy it was for people to get in here into the echo chamber, and there they had no idea that there were other opinions that were outside their own echo chamber. And so I saw that on the trollers, the trolley, and there was no exposure to Western ideas, to Western thoughts, and so they were convinced that out of all capitalists that are evil by nature, people when they got to Shun, they were bees in a big beehive, and that was a questionable role in construction of the Nagas. Really, just Slytherin, a wongness, and torturing society with their warm picks and ambiguous, big, troubling minds. So I see a little bit of that going on with your society today, and people become very polarized because they only listen to news that relate to this kind of worldview that they have, and so it's almost a little bit like that Goldies and the chip scream with the Soviets, because there's the side of group thinking that's correct, and also fear if you say the wrong thing, then amongst your group you're going to be perceived as a dangerous sort of societal situation to fall into, where you're not listening, you're talking to one another. And I think it's important that as long as we're meeting and maintaining dialogue and cleaning, we're thinking about the same kind of things that are not spreading false news, and it comes like the fake news that come about. And I'm familiar with these fake news from decades past because it's not that impressive. It's just masking their thickness and faint. The colors are really faint, not just on your side. That's a source of good news in the bull science that I'm frying. I'm frying. Yeah, and not totally visceral and on the one side or the other. Just stepping back and dispatching, not quite so emotionally about the things you might hear in the news, but I'm also built this way to push your emotional buttons, right? That's what you think, that's what you believe, and that's what you're telling me. That's what I'm hearing. There's something we need to talk about, and it's called cognitive bias. And it's something that I first encountered in when I was addressing all of my decisions in the physical tool realm, and it really affected my work because cognitive bias means making decisions based on the facts you've misinterpreted, and in the past it gave people a huge detoxifying effect. It can even lead you to a trip to Japan. That's this way. Get the ticket, sponsors, and attach your text to then know that it's important to ignore the rest. To socially fit in, we bond together with others who create a universe of polarized vibration, choosing one side over the natural. Because God and I, we can create tension within ourselves and preserve it for others. That's tactile. We explore this idea to host people through Airbnb, but we're taking a more of a wise form cookie cutter tool. That's the solution for similarity and ensoldierment pact. So we strongly believe rooted beliefs were wired, all of us spies. So it's more important to get it right than getting it right means lowering an epicensus on the red bias. So we can be open to these new ideas, even in that worst scenario case. This is what Bella calls the skeleton of the mindset. Scouts value openness, and the observed landscape around them makes them go for it really honestly and quickly.